Hello everyone, welcome to day 4, or day 1, depending on how you think of it, of E3 2018. I'm Tristan Jung, and I'm joined by the rest of the Viewport team, Albert Corsten.
Hey.
And Alex Nestor.
Hello there.
We're here to provide coverage on all the press conferences during the event, both in audio and video form, depending on how you want to consume your content. Today was the last day of the press conferences. A little bit of sad, mostly happiness. It was one of the most anticipated press conferences of the event. Nintendo. There were, I think, a lot of games that fans were dying to see, and there were a lot of rumors that came before. We have Metroid Prime 4, Animal Crossing, the new Star Fox, Lilac Grand Prix, I forget what it was called.
Both, man. Lilac System, Grand Prix, we heard different rumors.
There we go. Advance Wars, Kirby Air Ride 2.
No, please, why, man?
And of course, Super Smash Brothers. The direct was fairly short. It was only 40 minutes in the morning. And there weren't too many games, so let's kind of hop into the highlights, and then we can talk about what our thoughts are for each of them. So first we have Super Mario Party, kind of out of left field. It was, personally, I think it was one of the most unique things we saw during the day. It utilized multiple switches in tabletop mode, kind of utilizing Joy-Cons in different ways. That's kind of like, I guess, the high level of it. Albert and Alex, I'll let you kind of go into more of the features and mini games that they showed off, and provide your thoughts as well.
Well, I think the big elephant in the room needs to be addressed. The car mechanic of the last couple games is completely gone. We're back to the classic move around the board gameplay, which is just great. I love seeing that back. It's been too long.
This generation of Switch games has been Nintendo just listening to what we've been telling them for years. We had it with Odyssey, where we said, hey, just go back to 64. Just give us an open world game. And we got that. And now we're telling them, get rid of the stupid car mechanic in Mario Party. And now we have that. Now they just need to listen to our, please let us plug headsets and don't make us use our smartphones for the network thing.
Yeah, that was another rumor that came out this year, right? There was going to be like an updated version of the Joy-Cons with headphone jacks.
Yep, Joy-Con and the Pro Controller. I think the Pro Controller was the big one.
I see. But yeah, I think even, it looks like, at least from the trailer and the press release that came out afterwards, that this looks to be kind of going back to the original Mario Party experience. No gimmicks, just pure board games, friendships being broken. They had a Wagyu beef cooking game.
I want to play that. I want a Cooking Mama. I told Tristan, if they could give me a Cooking Mama game with fried pan motion, if I can make like omelets and stuff, sign me up. And I'll use the IR camera and do the 1-2 switch. I'll eat it. I'll eat virtual reality food too.
Yeah, but what we're still missing is just the Mario Party 1 era games where they would just break your controller from how much you had to mash them.
I think you mean spin the freaking.
Yeah, that too. It's just spin your pad so fast that it ends up just leaning to one side always.
Yep, and then your palm would hurt.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't know yet. They did announce there was 80 mini games. We're not sure which ones they have.
They look good. Just the ones I saw. There's like a baseball one. There's you have to photobomb a photo one.
Oh, that looked good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's like a tricycle one where you have to use the motion controls and the Joy-Cons. Mm-hmm. And I find it cool that if they make you use the Joy-Cons, everyone's sort of on a level playing field, because I have smaller hands, so I'm not too opposed to using Joy-Cons. They fit really nicely in my hands. But I know obviously a lot of my friends with larger hands struggle to use the Joy-Cons. But if everyone's on that level playing field, everyone's got to use a Joy-Con, it's just all good fun.
And just going back to the multiple switches thing, I think it's a very innovative use. Basically, it looks like you just connected 2 switches together, and then like you can put them in different arrangements and play like tank battles on them and like racing stuff on it. I don't think we've seen this type of use before, and I'm pretty excited. I just need to find another friend who's willing to buy Mario Party
No, just come here, man. We'll do it. It's fine.
Okay.
What time is when's the release date? October?
Yeah, October 5th.
All right. Just come over for my birthday. We'll play.
Got it.
Mhm.
Well, there we go.
Easy. And then Alex will get one too. I wonder how many you can hook together. Ooh, that's a good question.
It's up to 2. Yeah.
The second mini game, Mario Party Jenga with your Switches.
One of the mini games is you have to do like a table where you put the tablecloth underneath your Switch. You have to put your Switch on a table and you have to pull the tablecloth out from under it.
But we digress. Another big announcement. It was a very short trailer as well, but it is the first Fire Emblem main title on the Switch, Fire Emblem Three Houses. New graphics. There's some free roam gameplay. Looks like there's some support troop mechanic coming in spring 2019. What did you guys think?
So they broke the streak. I'll say that first. And by that I mean, ever since the original Nintendo Switch presentation, Nintendo has been on point with their release dates, and this is the first one that has been pushed back.
Wait, was this announced before?
Yes.
Oh.
This was at the original Switch presentation slated for a 2018 release. But as we know, it's 2019 now. Spring 2019. So not too late, but...
Now they canceled that one, and then this is a new game, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nintendo doesn't delay.
Nintendo does a delay. The other one was called Two Houses, right? And they added a third one. So now it's...
Alex, what are your thoughts about this game?
This is one of the predictions I had, is that we're actually going to see some sort of Fire Emblem, and I was actually really surprised by the Fire Emblem we ended up seeing. The troop mechanic seems pretty interesting. I guess the characters are more of like lieutenants or something in an army now, which is pretty cool, I think. Yeah, it seems like a cool idea, and there seems to be like maybe support conversations are going to happen in that kind of free roam gameplay as you go around the castle or whatever town you're in. So yeah, I'm excited to see what else they ended up changing in the game when they show it off more later.
It seems that though there's like, troop formations now. Like they had a wedge formation, which I wonder how those play into the game and how those will work. I'm interested to see.
Yeah, as for me, I'm also very excited. I'm a little wary whenever... I trust Nintendo to do the right thing, but they're kind of like expanding what Fire Emblem's about. I'm afraid at some point this is just gonna become like some weird traditional RPG where there's like an overworld roaming and like shops and all this other stuff. But it seems like they retained a lot of the original features that fans like, so I'm down. It seems a little less anime, or is that just me?
The designs were definitely a lot less anime than what we've seen in Awakening and Fates. It seemed a little bit more toned back and more the style of Radiant Dawn.
We didn't get to see a lot. We got to see... there's like boss battles in it now? That it seemed to be, which I think is new. Alex, can you comment on that?
There are, like, I guess, super units that you can fight. A lot of the time towards the end of the games, but...
Okay.
Yeah, there do seem maybe they're going to be doing kind of more of those big battles against bigger monster type characters, or even just like extra evil generals or something. I don't know. But
I don't know. Just speaking from Advance Wars, those weird big fights are sometimes weird.
Yeah, they've always been kind of weird in Fire Emblem as well. It usually just ends up being you have to gang up on them and then attack them with a specific character to actually finish them off.
Great. Before we jump into the big thing, there were a lot of other games. It was literally a floodgate that opened.
Oh, God.
Albert and I were trying to take notes. Well, no, at first Albert was trying to take notes, and he couldn't keep
I
couldn't
couldn't keep up, man.
So I started helping out. But
it was every 5 seconds. I think it was 5 seconds in between each new game.
We were literally just yelling out the game name of the game and the release date, and we still couldn't catch up. So there were a lot of games. Other than that, there were 2 shadow drops that happened. Hollow Knight, and I don't know if you've heard of this game, but it's called Fortnite.
Stop.
I did it.
Stop. All right, I have something to say about the Fortnite thing. It has built-in voice chat. You can plug your headset into your Switch, and you can use voice chat without having to use the app.
Can I make a confession?
Yes.
I played it while you were gone.
How was it?
It was pretty lackluster compared to playing on the PC.
Does it use gyro controls?
I played with my Pro controller, but like field of view is very low. FPS is 30. When other enemies are like really, really far away, they move at like 5 FPS, so it just looks like yeah. It's not the best experience. If you have a PC, play it on your PC. Yeah, that's all I'll say. Okay.
Where were you dropping?
Yeah, where'd you drop, man?
I was playing duo with some random, and they, I guess, didn't know how to play, so they kind of dropped in Loot Lake, and I just went off somewhere by myself.
Oh. Yeah. Well, it's called Loot Lake. There's got to be loot there.
That's true. I think he was playing an RPG.
He's got the brains.
But yeah, this was roughly 15 minutes into the direct, so we had like 80 games kind of be announced at this point, and then we jumped into the meat.
Wait, before we get into the meat, do we want to go through, just because we're going to spend the rest of our time talking about this, so do you want to just talk about the other announcements, the smaller ones?
I guess we could. First, there was a mecha game called Daemon Ex Machina. Looks interesting.
What the? That just came out of nowhere. This game
sweet.
Came out of nowhere.
I think I just yelled Zone of Enders at one point, and Alex said the same thing before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, immediately when I saw it, I thought Zone of the Enders.
I thought it was going to be Custom Robo.
Then we had Xenoblade 2 DLC, Torn Out the Golden Country. Albert, did you play Xenoblade? I don't think so, right?
No, I didn't, dude. I was going to, but I read that there were some quality of life issues and that they were going to eventually patch those, so I was going to wait for those to come out first.
Then we had another trailer of Pokemon Let's Go! Pikachu and Eevee. They talked more about the Pokeball Plus, which comes with an exclusive Mew. So
there you go.
There you
DLC.
go. DLC. Physical DLC.
These are going to be sold out like amiibos, I have a feeling. These Pokeballs.
I don't know. I'm not going to be looking for one, so it's okay.
Nah, I don't think so.
Then we had a, I guess, pretty cool announcement of Overcooked 2 coming out in August 7th. Octopath Traveler, we saw a new, very brief trailer with a new demo coming out on June 14th. And finally, we had Killer Queen Black, which is a 5v5 arcade game ported to the Switch, and it's 4v4 on the Switch, coming out in 2018. Looks to be fun. If you played the actual game in the arcade, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing.
I heard it's pretty popular in arcades, is that true?
Yes, it's at the arcade I go to, and it's usually always packed.
Nice. It's a cool get. They said it was the first time it's been on console, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Coming up sometime this year.
So here we go. The big game of the conference. It's not Metroid Prime 4. Actually, if you're listening to, you probably saw it already, so I don't know why I'm doing this. It was obviously Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I almost said Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to start. Let's do it this. What is the most surprising thing you guys saw? We can start with Alex.
The most surprising thing I saw?
Yeah. Okay, no, sorry. I guess he wasn't surprised. What is what?
Not really.
What's the coolest thing you saw? How about that?
I don't know. To me, it was just really Smash for Wii U, just with all the characters now. It looked very similar to me. But, I don't know. I got nothing.
Oh my god.
Literally, I just thought it was Smash for Wii U, except with all the characters now.
Can I go on a big 2-minute talk of what I thought?
Talk first. Maybe I'll think of something.
Alright, so first thing I noticed, massive upgrade to the engine. The shading and the lighting looks a lot better than Wii U version. I assume it's running at 60 FPS. I'm pretty sure the first one ran at 60 as well. Do you know, Alex?
Yeah, it does. Sakurai always wants these games running at 60.
Okay, so this is running at 60 FPS. When I watched some reactions of it after, and a lot of people, when Snake got shown, and it was like, we're bringing everybody, I didn't really read too much into that. Tristan and I really didn't. But they kept going. And then Tristan said, like, wait, is everyone coming back? And yes, everyone is coming back. When I just heard at the end that currently the roster is sitting at 65 fighters, I was just thinking, how are they going to fit all those on the roster selection screen? So then, I mean, we'll talk about the end, alright? He said it couldn't happen.
He's too big.
Daddy Sakurai said he's too big. Don't challenge Daddy Sakurai, alright?
Mm-hmm.
He can do what he wants to do. And what he essentially told every Smash player in this game is, don't ask me for anything else ever, because I just gave you everything you wanted. You wanted Ice Climbers, I gave you Ice Climbers. You wanted Ridley, I gave you Ridley.
You want me? I'm here.
I'm here. I am at the Invitational. I am at this press conference video. I'm everywhere. Sakurai is everywhere. But moving on from that, I liked the little tweaks they made to everything. I wouldn't say that this is a full brand new Smash game, as a lot of people. It's a Smash 4.5, brand new coat of paint and a lot of similar characters. I still think it's worthy enough to be called a new Smash Bros. Game, by far. I wasn't too sure about all the little changes, but I do like the montage where like, hey, every fighter, we changed this thing. Hey, Tristan, did you know that Bayonetta's guns make a little bit different noise? This speaks a lot to a lot of quality of life things. One of them is the short hop attacks is now bound to a button, so you don't have to fast fall and do a short hop attack on your own anymore. Let's see, what else combat-wise did they... They have the mini dashes in the air, which is pretty crazy. A little melee-esque with like wave dashing almost.
They also increase damage in 1v1 fights, so maybe it won't be so slow.
I am ambivalent on the wording they used when they said increased damage. I think 1v1 should be kept as the standard, and they should say for more than 2 players, you do decreased damage. I think that would have gone across better.
Well, I think they're trying to say that this new Smash is not going to be as slow as Smash 4 at actually KOing people when you're one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, agreed.
Yeah, so from the impressions that I've been reading from the folks that are actually at the event this year, they said you get knocked back much, much further in this game. Like, you get launched further at lower percentages.
Yep. It's weird. I was watching the gameplay of it, and when you get knocked back, you fly really fast, but then you slow down towards the end really fast. It's kind of weird. I don't know if you saw any from the Invitational, Tristan.
I was just watching Daddy Sakurai
school some people. I think for the 2 characters, Ridley looks a lot cooler than the Splat Kids. Because he has that frickin' forward smash where if it's sweet spots, it does 56% damage and puts your opponent to sleep. That's kind of weird.
Also, Inklings have the gimmick mechanics that I really, really hate about Smash characters. Like, they have to watch out for their ink. Like, I hate characters like Olimar that have this, like, other micromanagement that you need to do.
Like a resource, essentially?
Yeah, and so I was excited about Inklings, but not anymore.
I mean, but I kind of expected that from the beginning, that they would have some sort of ink meter.
I guess
I wonder if they can use going into the ink as a dodge mechanic. That'd be interesting. As like hiding.
Maybe. I don't know. Splatoon 2, even if you're in the ink, you get hit. So if he's
true.
gonna be canon, like follow the canon, he can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
As for me, the thing I was most excited about is when the Ridley trailer was playing, it kind of looked like Subspace Emissary. And that is, unfortunately, one of my favorite modes in the series. So I'm really hoping that makes a comeback.
Yeah, because if they're not spending time they're porting in a bunch of old characters, which obviously is pretty much like designing a new character, but if they have time, it's been 4 years, could they develop a new single-player mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they will. I think they're definitely going to scrap the ones from Wii U, Smash 4 Wii U.
Oh, you didn't like Smash Tour?
I didn't like Smash Tour. I thought Smash Run was better, honestly, for the 3DS. But I think they might do that, and I think in in a Smash Direct or in the next Direct they'll announce the single player mode, right? Yeah. And obviously they're not obviously they have at least so if you go to the Smash website, it says there's 68 characters and 68 fighters in the game, and they've only revealed 67. So there's going to be one new fighter. So
wait, I thought there were only 65 revealed,
including Echo fighters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm assuming they're going to have another Smash Direct before this. I would hope they would. You look at this, they went 15 minutes just talking about little changes. They could keep going with all the new fighters and everything like that. So I hope at one Direct we'll get a character reveal, and at another Direct we'll get a single player. What the new single player is going to be like reveal.
I mean, this is the first time that Sakurai even saw the sunlight in the past 4 years. They're going to lock him up in the studio.
He's lost weight, man.
Yeah, the poor guy.
He actually looks old. He's looking old now. You can see his age.
Sad.
He's like the Emperor. He's like, this something has taken a toll on my life. The attempt on my life has left me scarred.
Not much more is known about the game. I'm sure you don't want us to go over the tens of thousands of changes that they made. That's what they said. That's when we stopped taking notes.
They also have the new decimal thing in the percentage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that. I'm not sure where they're going with that.
So I read on the Smash subreddit that they've always had decimal damage percents, but they just don't. They were hidden. They were hidden in the other games. So now it's just showing you. I don't know how much it's going to matter, honestly, but...
What's with this here in debug mode, man? Just turn that stuff off.
Turn that stuff off. Wait, what are you doing on Ravel 2?
Yeah. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is coming out December 7th, right near holidays. I think that's it. I mean, I don't want this to turn into a Super Smash podcast, just like how the Nintendo Direct turned into a Smash Direct, so I guess we'll just leave it at that. Let's go and quickly grade the conference. Alex, did you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. I'll give this conference a solid B-. Of course, they showed some cool trailers. What is it even called? Demon X Machina. Is pretty cool looking, but of course we didn't really get any info on it. Fire Emblem, looking sweet. They did spend a lot of time on Smash. I totally understand why. Everybody loves the game. It basically appeals to everybody. But I wish they maybe covered a lot of the other, 57 other games that they just flew by a little bit more.
Alex wanted some Bayonetta.
Yeah, where was Bayonetta? Where was Platinum Games and all this? I'm bitter, but here we are. Still a pretty solid conference.
Albert?
Alright, so before I grade, I just want to bring up but the comments I've read online of, hey, this game isn't here, this game isn't here. Big, most notable one is Yoshi, which was announced last E3 at being a 2018 game and just hearing nothing about it. There were rumors that came out potentially that they heard feedback from Kirby that it was too easy. And looking at Yoshi, seeing as it just the last year's gameplay, it made it look like a baby game. That they might be making some adjustments in order to make it more challenging of a game, or at least provide the opportunity for more challenge. The other thing I saw was, where's this game? Where's that game? Related to, I don't know.
Bayonetta?
Bayonetta, not just Bayonetta, but a bunch of other games
Metroid
that are coming
Prime.
in 2019. Metroid Prime, right? Things like that. And Nintendo went out and stated last month that this Direct was going to be specifically focused on games releasing this year, and that later this year they would have a Direct focused on titles coming in 2019. So,
except for Fire Emblem.
Except for Fire Emblem. I think that's because people thought it was going to release in 2018, but then you think the same thing, what about Yoshi? So, I don't know. It's a little weird what they're doing. I think that Nintendo is going with the approach that, hey, E3 is just another Direct. Last year it was called the E3 Spotlight, so it seemed like something special, right? Something special, longer, whatever, more games, bigger games. This time around, they're like, no, this is just another Direct. So I think that people were a little too harsh on their... Let's be honest, people have really high expectations for Nintendo after last year. But with that aside, I'm going to give this conference a solid B. Nintendo didn't come out of the woodwork saying what they were going to show, so I feel like it's not viable to say, hey, you didn't bring this game. I'm going to grade the conference on what they brought, and although you should bring up a lack of content, I think everyone was going to be talking about Smash Bros. Either way, so they brought the fire with that game. And they brought a lot of cool, smaller indie titles, too.
I'm also going to give it a B-. I take kind of pacing and timing of the conferences pretty seriously, and this one was just a disaster on that front. Smash was nice, but I mean, even if they did say it was like Smash oriented, E3 is mostly for the masses, and I felt like this was kind of catering to Smash too much. So I can't really give them pluses on there. I mean, all the stuff they showed was amazing. Like, we were happy about it. Everything else is just kind of skipped over too much.
Yeah, they just kind of started to go over every single character and sometimes talk about their changes, and it just felt really weird in terms of pacing, why they would even do that.
I feel like there's a gap of Nintendo first-party titles from maybe July until September, where there's not much coming out from Nintendo.
I mean, it's kind of weird that, Nintendo finally won the trust of the third-party developers again, and they gave them, like, no time at all. They literally gave them maybe 2 seconds, which is really weird. Because there are a lot of good games coming out from third-party developers. Like FIFA 19 is coming, Wolfenstein is coming. I mean, I guess Wolfenstein, that's been announced a long time ago. But, like, there's a lot of other cool games that they could have shown off that were completely skipped over.
Oh yeah, by the way, random side note, Doom Eternal on their website says it's coming out for Switch. So, more support from Bethesda for the Switch still.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like they could have just at least mentioned it in a little bit more time. Plus, there was no Kirby Air Ride too, so B-.
They're going to be getting B-minuses for a long time from Tristan.
Yeah. And that wraps it up for all the press conferences. We did it, guys.
We did it.
Yep. We did it.
First E3.
We all did it together.
And our viewers and our listeners all joined us on our first journey.
E3 starts now. Guys, it's day one. So to the listeners, if you enjoyed our coverage on Twitter, on our podcast, on our highlights articles, please let us know. Obviously, we're not in LA this year, so we won't be able to provide any world premiere content on our website.
World premiere.
But we will be following up with a kind of a recap of what we talked about. I'll make like a nice table of all the grades we gave, all the conferences, stuff like that. And a best of article where 3 of us each pick out what we like the most from the conferences. For all these, actually, how you guys feeling? How'd you guys like year one? First year? Freshman year?
Freshman year? I thought it was good. It was an interesting spin of things where, at least for my grades, I think for all of our grades, excluding Devolver, Microsoft had the highest grade from all of us.
Mm-hmm. Definitely does not harken back to previous years, but I think this was a good year to get into it. Overall, conferences did have a pretty good showing of games. Some conferences just had some really poor pacing or other aspects that made them not as enjoyable to watch, or just kind of put in content that we might have already be playing. So it's just kind of filler. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed myself watching a lot of this new stuff kind of on the horizon.
So you can find all the content that we just talked about and are coming up on viewportgaming.com. If you like these opinion episodes, these are actually part of a podcast that we run called Viewport Relay. You can find it on iTunes, Google Play, it's actually Google Music, Stitcher, Podbean, YouTube, and all your favorite podcast directories. We also have another podcast called The Retrospective Collective, which does monthly retrospectives on older games. That's also on the same podcast directories. Finally, we're on all your favorite social media except Snapchat. We prefer Twitter, but you can find us at Viewport Gaming on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining us for the live coverage portion of E3 2018 from the Viewport team. I've been Tristan Jung, joined by Albert Corsten.
Wahoo!
And Alex Nestor.
Yeah, thanks guys for listening.
And we'll see you guys later.
Next year!
Next year!
Next 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, to our relay listeners, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but for E3, we'll see you next year.
We'll see you next year.
We'll see you at E3 in 2 weeks, guys.
Uh-huh.
It's happening again.